Are Manchester City guilty of 115 financial fair play charges?
No.
Unknown.
I'd say no.
No.
I think we will be found not guilty. I think the Premier League have over-egged the pudding. I think the charges are far too much. And the 115 or the 5 proper counts what we've been charged with. If you look into it and delve into it and research it like I have, Sheikh Mansour's come up with the words, we've got irrefutable evidence. Strong words, you've got to look at what irrefutable means. And what you're accusing our owners of and other execs of companies of, Deloitte, KPMG, etc., is perjury and fraud. I don't see what Premier League have got any kind of a leg to stand on personally.
To be honest with you, I have no idea if City are guilty. You know what I mean? We've not seen the full evidence. We've not seen what the Premier League are alleging. We've not seen City's defence. I have no idea. I'm going to wait, personally, till the judgment happens, and then I'll read it. And then I'll make my own mind up as to what happens based off of that. Everyone's got their own views on whether they're guilty or not guilty. I want the club to be not guilty. They've told me they're not guilty. But something that I just prefer to do in life, rather than just believe what someone's telling me, I'll wait until I can see the evidence for myself. So I hope we're not guilty. And then obviously they've told me they're not guilty, so I trust them. I believe them. But in terms of what do I think personally, I'm going to wait and see what's in the document. I'll make my mind up off then.
The reason I say no is because there's so much stuff behind the scenes that would have had to illegally take place, fraud, stuff like that. And I just don't think it's feasible. I also think it was very convenient timing for the Premier League. And everyone's just happy to jump on the bandwagon of City cheating because we're so successful. What would the punishment be if City were to be found guilty?
I think if we are to get any punishment, it's probably going to be the biggest deduction of points you'll ever see in the Premier League, and also probably the biggest fine that you could possibly imagine from the Premier League. Also, I don't think there'll be any relegation. I think relegation would be too detrimental for the Premier League. I think it's a case of if we were to be relegated, then they would be losing out on a fortune themselves through the earnings the Premier League make through Manchester City.
If we're guilty of FFP breaches, then who knows what they're going to do? You know, who knows what they're going to do? I mean, if you're guilty of, what is it, like 8 years, 7 years or something of FFP breaches, and they're giving 6-7 points out to some people who are getting, you know, a couple of mil over the budget. I don't know, man. It could be anything. They could strip our titles, apparently. They could kick us out of the league. Massive points reduction. Just hopefully it doesn't come to that.
It can be absolutely anything. It won't just be 5 points, 10 points deduction, I'll tell you that. It won't be relegation. I think it could be potentially expulsion. Only expulsion out of the Premier League, though, because it's only the Premier League that have charged us. City going to the Championship, or whether we end up down in League 1, 2, whatever. This thing, and we're just going out of business and we're off to League 3 is a load of garbage. If we are found guilty, we're in serious trouble, and the punishments could be endless.
I think the punishment would probably be a mass points deduction. We're talking 30, 40 points, depending on which charges we were guilty of. And I think there'd also be a huge fine, because the Premier League always want to get something out of this that's financial. They don't want to just kick City out of the league. It's more than that. They want a financial reward for proving City's guilt if that is to happen. How would the football world react if City were to be found not guilty?
Oh boy, meltdown.com is what would happen. It would be hilarious, because to see everyone, all the YouTubers, the media, the clickbait merchants, spend the last 18 months saying we don't care about Manchester City and we've quite clearly lived rent-free in their heads, I think there'd be a whole meltdown. I'll be honest with you, Manchester City will never be ever innocent in some people's minds. There'll always be no smoke without fire, guilty by association. They'll have no more excuses anymore for their failure of a board, their failure as a team, as a football club. Because what they've done is, they, instead of questioning their own football team and their management and their owners, they have blamed the Manchester City charges for their failure, saying we've cheated and they can't compete. Well, if we get found innocent, or when we get found innocent with what I believe, what's going to be your excuse then? But the meltdown will be intense. Just can't wait, because when we're found innocent, let the party commence, and boy, we're going to let you all know about it.
I think they'll assume that we've paid them off. I think no one will believe that City are innocent. So, yeah, this is why I kind of tell City fans to just sort of ignore outside media, because no matter what happens, yeah, we're guilty anyway. Yeah, and if we get found not guilty, we're still guilty. People will just say we paid them off. People will say we got away with it. People say it was time barred. People say ignore them. Who cares? You know what I mean? I don't care what anyone else says. I want to just see for myself what's actually gone on.
I think no matter what, even if we're found not guilty, I think in the rivals' fans' eyes, we are always going to be guilty. Even if we're proven innocent, you know, you can see it on social media and things like that. We're always going to be guilty. We can do no right, even if we prove that in court, and they'll come out with the excuses, oh, we've paid somebody off, or just because of the size of the club we are, that we've got away with it because of who we are. No matter what, in the eyes of rival fans, I think we're always going to be guilty, unfortunately. But hey ho, we'll just keep winning on the pitch.
There would be an absolute meltdown. Everyone would not believe it. People would be in disbelief, they'd be in denial. And everyone out there, everyone that doesn't support Manchester City would be trying to say, City have paid someone off, we've cheated, we're still guilty, all this stuff. So we can't really win in this situation. As Pep Guardiola said, we've already been condemned before even having a trial. And yeah, I think whatever happens is going to be a massive meltdown. And to be honest, I do think we are innocent, and I wait for that to be proven.